and do obey with little questioning. We set out to repeat Milgram's experiment using secret cameras.
Hi there, sir. Hi, how are you doing? I was wondering if it would be possible to have your seat.
Why?
Would you mind? Would that be okay?
Why do you want to?
Would you not want to give me a seat?
Easy, yeah. Have you got bad legs?
No, not really. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you.
Okay.
Just wondering if I could possibly have your seat, if that's okay.
Have my seat?
Yeah, is that okay?
Why do you want mine when there's all the others?
Just really wondering if you'd give me your seat. Did you not want to know?
I don't mind. You need my seat. I should sit.
Thanks, that's very kind of you. Great.
It's evident that every society needs the majority of people to follow the rules, to be compliant, to be obedient, to respect authority. I mean, that's the glue that holds all of these individuals together. The problem is, where are the boundaries to that obedience?
Hi, how are you doing? I was just wondering if it would be possible to have your seat. Yeah, is that okay? Yeah? Thanks a lot.
Out of the 30 people we approached, an astonishing 50% gave up their seats, despite challenging the oddness of the request. We then added an authority figure into the mix.
Hi there, how are you doing? Just wondering if I could have your seat, if that's okay. Thank you very much, it's very kind of you. Okay, great. Thank you.
When you added an authority element, when there was a person in a uniform, that obedience, that clicking, that click-whir automatic responding went up to 100%. Every person that was asked complied.
Is it possible to have your seat?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah? Great, thank you.
Half of us have a tendency to act without thinking. And that's where we begin to have tyrannical danger, that when people can be made to act on these impulses, on these conditioned habits, without stopping to say, well, why? Why should I do this?
All over the world, there are examples of blind obedience leading to human rights abuses. One took place on the football pitches of Kosovo. Before the continuing breakup of Yugoslavia began, Albanians and Serbs played in the same teams. In spring 1991, as the players trained at Pristina FC, the Manchester United of Kosovo, Serb troops moved in and forced any Albanians to leave the team. Overnight, Pristina Football Club was ethnically cleansed. One of their top players, Afrim Tovalani, was 24. His future as a professional footballer was still ahead. The orders from Belgrade drove Afrim and his colleagues into the hills, where they were forced to play in secret.
We decided to play after 3 days one secret match in a village near Pristina, but the police found out and came to break up the match. They threatened us and demanded, while we were still playing and while we were still organizing matches.
What particularly shocked Afrim was how the segregation was handled.
The behavior of the Serb police was very brutal. These people weren't acting like police, but like savages. I couldn't imagine how people could behave like this to each other. There were policemen from Pristina that I knew, and I asked them, why are you acting in this manner? You know that I'm a citizen of Pristina. You've known me for a long time, and you know that I'm not a terrorist, but a citizen of Pristina, of Kosovo. They said, we are just obeying orders. This is something we need to do. It's an order from above and we can't disobey, because if we do, we'll lose our jobs. It was an order they were forced to do.
Now 33, Afrim owns a pizza restaurant. He's back playing with Pristina FC and coaches the junior squad. He's lost the best 8 years of his career.
It matters that those people weren't selected for the football team, because although it may seem trivial in itself, it's actually the thin end of a large wedge, because it can start off with something like that and it can end up with them being excluded from their jobs, driven out of their homes, not accepted as having the same rights as everyone else.
Over the course of human history, there have been more crimes committed in the name of obedience than in the name of disobedience. So it is not the disobedience, not the rebel, it's not the unusual kind of deviant person who is the threat to this society. The real threat to all societies are the mindlessly, blindlessly obedient people who follow any authority.
We've got a dominant group and a tendency to obey authority. What happens when the leader asks us to do something against our better judgment? When we're caught up in the wrong circumstances, you'd be amazed at what harm we'll do to others, even if we think we couldn't.
If someone asked me to harm someone, there is no way I would do it. No, I wouldn't.
No way.
No, I don't think I would harm someone if...
I can't think why somebody would.
Do you think you could ever harm another human being?
No, I couldn't possibly do that.
No, definitely not.
They're wrong. Our step 3 on the road to tyranny looks at how readily most of us will obey an authority who commands actions against our conscience. An extraordinary experiment in 1961 at Yale University did exactly that.
Incorrect. You'll now get a shock of 75 volts. Soft hair. He kind of did some yelling in there.
Psychologist Stanley Milgram created a situation in which people were asked to act with increasing severity against another individual. In other words, do harm.
Just how far can you go in this thing?
The question is, would American citizens, ordinary Americans, do that if an authority figure dressed in a white lab coat put you in a situation where you had the power to literally electrocute a very nice stranger? Would you do it?
To this day, the results are shocking.
Teacher, you may look on if you'd like while we get set up in here. Would you roll up your right sleeve?
Here's the setup. The volunteers were told they would be helping science look at ways to improve memory.
The teacher will read a list of word pairs to you like these. Blue girl, nice day, fat neck, and so forth. You are to try to remember each pair. For the next time,
using a word game, one person would play teacher, the other the learner.
Now what I'm going to do is strap down your arms to avoid any excessive movement on your part during the experiment.
The teacher would punish the learner when he got an answer wrong to see if this encouraged learning. And the punishment? An electric shock.
And this electrode paste is to provide a good contact to avoid any blister or burn. This machine generates electric shocks. When you press one of the switches all the way down, the learner gets a shock.
Milgram chose 15-volt increments because each increase seemed so minimal.
This middle position after you released it to show you which switches you've used on the board.
Axe, needle, stick, blade. Answer, please. Wrong. I'm up to 180 volts.
Please continue, teacher.
Needle, you're going to get a shock. 180 volts. You can't stand it. I'm not going to kill that man there. I mean, who's going to take the responsibility if anything happens to that gentleman?
I'm responsible for anything that happens here. Continue, please.
If the leader says, look, I'll be responsible, then we are relieved that we are not going to be blamed. A lot of what we don't do is because of the fear of being blamed for a negative outcome.
Continue. Go on, please.
You accept all the responsibility?
The responsibility is mine, correct. Please go on.
Gold, dollar, necklace, moon, paint. Answer, please. Are you all right? 405 volts. The answer is moon.
Also, it becomes awkward to challenge